YouTube comments from a video titled, What U.S. Insurance Companies Aren't Telling You Informer. Part 9.
At C2188DS wrote,
I have met this man in his 60s in rundown house that was for sale. His name was Levin, and he was a renter. While I was viewing this rundown property, Levin told me that he used to own a nice home in Encino in LA suburbs. That his house was burned down, and he lost all his possessions. I asked him, "Didn't you have an insurance?" He replied, "Yes, I had. But the insurance company not only denied the claim but sued him for fraud and concealment of facts. Insurance company did concluded that the fire was legit. However, since in his initial application for the insurance many years back, Levin did not mention a prior claim that he had made. Insurance company determined that was enough ground not only not to pay for the light loss, but sue him in civil court. I was puzzled. I went home and Googled the case and found it. Yes, indeed. Levin's insurance company, after collecting year after year thousands of dollars, denied his claim for damages and moreover aggressively cornered him. Levin was an immigrant, and his language skills were subpar to understand or fill out properly the initial insurance form. It is quite likely the agent or someone else have filled out the form. Thus, Levin lost his only asset, his home, and all the money paid to insurance. This case may be 2 decades old and happened in Los Angeles. I hope someone can look up this case and pursue this insurance company what they have done to Levin.
At Alice_Vuk wrote,
There needs to be a campaign for every single citizen to just flat out refuse to pay. They can't chase and send to court millions of people at once.
At Andrew Myrick 9468 wrote,
If any of these bozos call me trying to scam a collection from me or anyone near me, I'll tell them I've changed my first name to Luigi and then ask for the address of their call center.
At BK93B wrote,
My mom had farmer's insurance, but after she passed away, insurance manager told me, "We going to pay you this week or next week." He lied to me 6 months. He knows I was not working. When I said I'm broke, he said we not going to pay anything because she paid 16 months. She's supposed to be paying more than 2 years. She's dead too early, but they didn't say when they made contract. He knows I don't have money to sue them. I give up, start working, never opening insurance because I see other people paying long time, but when they get sick, insurance do all kind of things to try not to pay. One guy fall from 30 feet and broke his legs, but insurance says no camera in your workplace. We need find out you jump purposely or it was accident. He was going hospital. Insurance work company to prove it was accident with broken leg.
At Harlem Shake wrote,
If you are affiliated with any insurance company, you need to do something. This is absolutely unacceptable. The world is done with the abuse of all these companies and evil people.
At Cats__Scary wrote,
I worked remotely for United Healthcare as a prior authorization pharmacy technician. I lasted 3 months. The amount of people not getting their medicine was insane. I thought I was doing the job wrong. I thought, what the hell is going on here? I quit and never looked back.
At Eddie GB3BN wrote,
This doesn't have to be the status quo. We need to expose all the people in Congress that accept a paycheck from these lobbying groups to keep this corrupt system alive.
At Dinagron 6328 wrote,
I think the insurance companies should be treated as people under Citizens United and charged with terrorism against their customers. And throw in the 8th Amendment to boot.
Adriptamine wrote,
80K in debt from 3 ER visits during a 6-month gap in health insurance after getting laid off. Said I couldn't get any care unless they took MRI, etc. Completely wrecked my credit at 27. I'm now 31 with not a dent in that debt and can't apply for anything with my credit.
A Sick World Perspective wrote.
I don't disagree, but I don't see why Vice had to make this into a horror movie. Just stop with the unnecessary theatrics, please. Treat us like adults.
At Nerflux wrote.
Charged $2,000 by the IRS in 2011 for losing health insurance while working to construct hospitals while they deducted from my pay to Cobra. They contacted me last year to say it has been accruing interest when I was told it was paid by a judge. How is it all this broken? How long can management just pass it all off to the lowest wage workers? I busted my back helping to build that hospital, and they couldn't even approve my health insurance. I'm sure my hearing became nothing more than another statistic they can't do anything for. Just let it happen. Frustrated now, but it will pass. Stress doesn't help.
Ian Anderson 265 wrote.
Clearly, this video was done in response to Luigi and the shady things happening at UHC. Numerous companies are no longer providing health insurance through UHC thanks to the recent news. You'd be amazed how brutally cutthroat this world truly is.
Chargel 96 wrote.
I love this time in history, and I'm glad I get to witness it. Feels like at any moment, the old order will be eviscerated. Even if it means destroying everything and casting the world into turmoil, certain intolerable traits will be beaten out of humanity. Ego and greed will get their long overdue punishment.
At Leslie 9213 wrote.
In history, I was taught the French Revolution in a positive light, so why are some vilifying Luigi? What's the difference? The French Revolution was not a bloodless coup.
At Still Combat Prague 6665 wrote.
I refuse to let me and my wife work at the same time. Why would I pay for healthcare, daycare, food, dental, vision, internet, or utilities when we can just work one job with some side gigs here and there? Crazy that couples are working minimum wage just to live worse than an unemployed homeless person.
Porky Chop FPV wrote.
If it's as bad as he claims, call out the company by name, stop hiding behind bull crap, and start having a little accountability. Just my 2 cents.
At Technology 9146 wrote.
51% of Americans can't afford healthcare, and the incoming government is planning to strip them of help under the ACA. To make matters worse, the U.S. ranks first for most expensive healthcare but 60th for life expectancy.
At Honora 619 wrote.
They bugged my mom while she was in hospice too. Their response, well, since you're dying anyway, why not give us what you can? AKA you don't need your money. Just give it to us. Brian Thompson denied or delayed her insurance until she went from 1st stage to 4th stage. When she got too sick, she moved in with us, and I was her caretaker until she died. She had a fighting chance if Brian wasn't like, no, there are millions of people just like me, and they grow by the millions every year.
At 420 Haiku wrote.
Insurance companies are the biggest scam ever invented. They take and take and take, and for what? You'll never see a dime back again. They will make sure of it. They will lie, cajole, massage, anything they can do to wriggle out of ever giving you back any money you have contributed. Insurance companies should be banned out of existence.
At Wolf of YouTube 474 wrote.
What did she say that requires a mask? She wore a mask but won't name the company? What's the consequence? She has a mask and voice masking. I think this is someone whose appearance would make you question, is this a tinfoil hat society member or someone who's seen these things for real? It's all too common for people to say things they know have happened like it's their own memory. their own struggles, and when pressed and called out, will always say something like, "But it is happening." Just not to me if you have to lie to make your point. You're not the one who should be making the point.
And Mezin wrote,
The things this person is saying makes it obvious that not only are they lying, they also have no idea how insurance works. Insurance doesn't collect anything from a claimant if they have a water claim, for instance. The only thing insurance does is pay the claim or not pay the claim. This video is straight up misinformation.
and Waidito wrote,
Folks should pay attention to who insurers donate to in their local elections. Watch out for lawsuit reform, legislative tort reform, and even term limits where old dog politicians are not supporting the first 2 points.
Tulminator wrote,
A real psycho would say, if you got breath to tell me you're dying, you have breath to call the bank and tell them to get me my money.
Cato Arce wrote,
The real American values. Almost every single industry, economic sector in the U.S. works under these principles. But hey, the Super Bowl is just around the corner.
Castage wrote,
Hello, I work for the largest automotive collision repair MSO in the country. If our average monthly repair gross profit is less than 45% of the job, we don't get a commission check. Interesting part is due to the company's purchase power, the company gets numerous back-end discounts, and the company's ownership of multiple sublet vendors directly relates to inflated cost of those services, calibrations, mechanical work, accessories, etc., which in turn drives up prices billed to insurance companies, which raises your premiums even though you haven't had car accident in years. However, your neighbor's daughter 2 blocks over has had multiple accidents in a policy period. Because you live in the same area code, her recklessness cost you more money on your premiums. Oh yeah, also your credit score drives up premiums. How isn't something I've ever understood. Everyone knows the first thing you pay every month is the mortgage. Next is the insurance on the property. Lastly is gender plays an essential role in determining insurance premiums. How are we supposed to believe race doesn't?
At Checkmate 2027 wrote,
This individual needs to be careful. They speak in a particular fashion that would be easy to recall from memory of past employees. Also, they've given tons of information that would make them incredibly easy to identify if someone has access to the records and even better knew them firsthand.
200 Crazes 3 wrote,
Eat the rich, Luigi's Law will be spread across the world after this. These companies will learn after this not to play with people's lives.
Blue wrote,
Forget about praising Mangione. I tried it the other day. Apparently, I'm a murder sympathizer. Nope. I'm just tired of these rich bastards living like the French aristocrats while we fucking starve and fade for slop.
At Freckles Jones 732 wrote,
Part BC-DEF is all bullcrap and they know it. Just another way to keep getting rich. Hell, if you need an ambulance right now, you better ask somebody for a ride.
At Linda Lily 69 wrote,
I just read a story online about someone's father who needed MRI to check for cancer that runs in the family, but kept getting denied by the insurance company for over a year until the cancer became stage 3 and the father died 3 years later. He could have lived much longer if he had MRI earlier, but the insurance company killed him instead. Absolutely disgusting what these companies get away with.
Ejlerify wrote,
I don't see the point in paying millions in your lifetime on premiums to protect against the worst case scenario, only to be rejected when you finally need it. Why get insurance at all?
Jenny Tulwarts wrote,
Luigi is not a hero. He is a murderer. Then again, so was that CEO. I wish there was a better way to bring about change and shine a light on the horrible, greedy healthcare insurance industry. I'm glad the light is shown, that the issue is now being discussed, but I wish there was a better way. He should also be NOT charged as a terrorist. School shooters and mass murderers don't even get a terrorism charge. That's ridiculous.
At Elwood Albert 4677 wrote,
A home health care company owned by United Healthcare. The middle management changes doctor orders without telling the treating clinicians to comply with the recommended number of visits ACA, not what is medically warranted.
Troy Gravitt wrote,
Lol, that time I went to the doctor to get antibiotics to treat a sinus infection. Forced to see a nurse practitioner. Left with 2 heart CT scans.
At Hogline Bulldogs 361 wrote,
I'm currently being charged for insurance through Blue Cross that I cannot use, and they are saying is cancelled. But they are charging me $560 a month taking it from my check, and there is nothing I can do about it. I can't even see a doctor.
At Nintendo_26 wrote,
I went to high school with one of the daughters of United Healthcare's founder, Richard Burke. The amount of money that girl had was disgusting. I remember hearing that she totaled her $95,000 Range Rover and her parents bought another one 2 weeks later. This was all happening while at the same school. One of my friend's mom lost her job after recently being diagnosed with cancer, and she was struggling to figure out how to pay for own health care.
At Jackie Castillo 2484 wrote,
It's a democracy or not. That's why you should take care of your health, sleep, eat good, and don't do drugs or alcohol. But even if you don't use drugs or alcohol, you can still get sick and go to the hospital or DR.
At Havy Outreed 369 wrote,
My best friend punctured his lung after accidentally falling out a tree. In fear of crippling medical debt becoming an insurmountable burden on his family/friends, he chose not to seek medical attention and choked on his blood in his sleep later that night. He was 33. This is America.
As she comments at night wrote,
It's giving, just following orders, and we all know how that goes. What we all have got to realize is that change takes sacrifice. You have to be willing to lose your comforts, kids, and life in the fight raging against the machine. That's why they are winning. Because you just can't. You need your job to take care of your family. You'll lose your house if you're spotted at a or, doing, or saying. It's slavery under capitalism. Money is the devil, and when you make it your one goal, your God, you are lost, and you are the problem.
At Garden Gal 87 wrote,
I have an HMO, the cheapest insurance available at my work. While I do pay a lot out of my check each month, the insurance pays for everything. Childbirth was $0. The catch is that I gave to go to their doctors. But since I've in the suburbs of a major city, there are good hospitals all over.
At Javier HQ1TJ wrote,
I have been receiving random bills from State Farm car insurance here in Michigan. Every time I ask what's this bill for, they give me the runaround a week later the actual bill of what the car insurance is. Anyone experiencing this as well?
At Even 0x2y wrote,
As an American living in the UK for 25 years, I have the benefit of experiencing both countries' healthcare systems. I pay my health insurance to the NHS National Health Service through my taxes, as does everyone else. When I get prescriptions, I pay 90% less than Americans for the same meds. I pay nothing for seeing a GP, pay nothing for a mental health care psychiatrist, mental health nurses, counselors, pay 90% less for dental services and treatments, etc. The American healthcare system is a total scam and has been for decades. Another example, a vial of insulin costs £9, £11 roughly. In the US, costs $250. Same insulin, different healthcare systems. Americans really must demand that the US government comes up with a viable universal healthcare system. It's totally possible since every other Western country has it. Start by electing politicians who will do this for you. I don't think Trump and his cronies will help with this at all. He couldn't do it the first time, he won't do it during his second term. You need someone like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. Bon courage.
Atin_man 1923 wrote,
I have had a lifetime of hospitalizations and operations, but just to pick the most recent one, I was hospitalized for 2 weeks in May for a nearly fatal blood infection, and that visit cost $242,600 with one single CT scan taking literally 5 minutes, costing $20,000. Greatest country in the world.
At Mr. Sudbury 3856 wrote,
It would be easier if you paid more taxes and got free healthcare and school/college like in the Faroe Islands. I have multiple sclerosis and get my medicine for free.
At Esatravisa for Life wrote,
US healthcare companies are nothing but filled with businessmen that have nothing but profiting of your well-being on their mind, and have destroyed society to where a murderer is considered a hero for killing someone because they ran one of those companies.
At Sierra Bauman 810 wrote,
Boyfriend was told by someone collecting for the state of California to do whatever he had to do to get the money, and when he asked about payments they gave him a hard time, told him to do recycling, hustle, but to get that money he owed them. Boyfriend has mental health disorder, and if they'd caught him during manic episode, he likely could done something crazy to get that money, but since manic would have sowned it, or likely just given it away. But point is that type of behavior is not professional, it's predator behavior, and states using these companies or counties should be ashamed and fines erased due to trauma they caused. It was disturbing to listen to. I couldn't believe it, told my boyfriend, that felt like extortion and dirt him wrong. Had to be illegal, Neve wanting to call them back ever or they call him. He just became a ghost.
At Badmash_imports wrote,
That's what happens when your country kills innocent PPL in the name of war on terror. You not think that the tables will be turned and an absurd situation like this would happen. Sad. I'm sorry on behalf of my country to all those millions of Muslims that we have killed.
At user CH9NX128Y wrote,
Insurance ran out, he went to nursing home. Insurance ran out, he was sent home. Died few weeks later from infection that was never under control during these 2 periods at hospital or nursing home.
At Wildcat Gal 1 wrote,
The worst part is many of the working poor and middle class fell for the scheme from the far right to fear rainbows and LGBTQ rights, and voted against their own interests for a felon who literally puts the needs of the wealthy 1% above the welfare of our country. Things will continue to get even worse for everyone now. What a FCKNG disgrace.
At Sanoc 6745 wrote,
When people realize just how they are using us all like sheep reducing nutrition, so our contrived tissue make us full of cancer, it's going to get crazy.
At Deshawn 77 wrote,
I take from these insurance companies. Fake my car being stolen. Fake my house being broken into. And also fake an injury at work FRFR. If I could, I'd fake my death. 2 yeah, FKM.
At Nate Saird Headbro wrote,
As someone who had a recent injury and had to deal with 6+ different people for the case, not only do they make you wait and upset you, They force you to deal with others trying to make a living that have no control over what they do. They are just working a job. But when you have to deal with, and they are the one conducting your situation, you build a hatred for them, leaving you in a spiral of, could they have helped, or is it the bigger power? Control what you can control is what some have said to me. They have already lost their wits and have bowed down to their superiority. Disgusting. I can control a lot of things. No one is as safe as they think they are, and they shouldn't. Their protection is paid for with the same thing we wipe our ass with.
At April Donsonshine 4326 wrote,
General strike is the only way we're going to effect change and get money out of politics and policing so these criminals are held accountable. Unfortunately, once the new guy takes office, it'll just give them an excuse for martial law.
At Lone 24 wrote,
The irony is, of course, that Vice too is part of a conglomerate of parasites who never have enough and willingly spread lies and gay leftist propaganda as long as it's good for their bottom line.
At Mobile Gaming 0624 wrote,
Now I understand why my insurance is cooking me, forcing me to get a surgery I might not need, not allowing doctors to do things that might further explain my chronic pain issues. Sucks. Luigi Mangione for President 2025.
At M1978, P8J wrote,
People talk about leaving the country when Trump takes over, but isn't insurance/health insurance enough of a reason? It's as if your life depends on it, or the risk of financial ruin with bankruptcy from medical bills.
At Digital Chowes wrote,
Wow, incredible video. I am here for this and the American Revolution. It's no wonder those CEOs are shaking and putting on this incredible display just for the murder of one of their CEOs. Let's be honest here, Luigi Mangione is a hero this country needs, and it's time for us to wake up. These parasites continue and will stop at nothing to siphon and extract every penny from us to enrich themselves. They don't care about us, and it's time for us to rise up and fight against the system that pins us against each other. They use everything at their disposal to manipulate the media to get us to fight each other and distract us from the war they don't want us to have. This is a class war, and this is the beginning of what is yet to come. That's why they gaslight and do everything and anything possible to try to put Luigi in a bad light. But in reality, they do everything to control us and make us feel afraid and fear. Look at how quickly they removed the profile pictures of the CEOs, and now they are going in hiding. Meanwhile, they're making millions of dollars at expense of us, the working class. It's time to wake up, my friends, and recognize the true enemy in the system, and it is not each other, but the ultra-wealthy CEOs versus the hard-working American citizen. It's time to reform the system and get back what is owed to us. Deny, defend, depose.
As Othakwa wrote,
Americans have been taught to be suspicious of their government, but respect the success of corporate machines that will do absolutely anything, legal or not, that they can get away with to feed infinite greed. Literal evil.
Jmanich wrote,
We all have known about insurance and how they FPPL for decades. It's finally good it's being talked about nationally together. I guess we'll see what happens.
At Dice Sports Canona wrote,
Auschwitz has been operated by the same kind of people. Auschwitz killed 1 million people. How long will it take the U.S. insurance industry to reach that number? Insurance means you can be sure that your claim will not paid. Insure, got it?
Gellert wrote,
The statement captures some of the frustrations and controversies surrounding insurance subrogation, which is a legitimate but often misunderstood aspect of the insurance industry. Subrogation refers to the process by which an insurance company seeks to recover funds from a third party responsible for a loss after paying out a claim to their policyholder. Here's an analysis of the claims made in the statement. Is subrogation fair? Recovering losses. Subrogation is fundamentally a way for insurance companies to prevent undue financial losses. If another party or their insurer is legally responsible for the damages, subrogation ensures the responsible party pays rather than the insurer or the policyholder. Impact on the insured. Subrogation can work in the insured's favor, as recovering funds may help keep premiums lower and prevent double payment for losses. Controversial tactics. Aggressive recovery methods. Insurance companies can sometimes act aggressively, pursuing claims even when fault is not clear-cut. This might involve pressuring individuals or businesses who are not entirely at fault to pay up to avoid costly legal disputes. Bullying and deceptive practices. While not universal, some companies may use intimidation or misleading communications to compel settlements. This has contributed to the negative public perception of insurance. Gray areas of fault. In some cases, insurers may pursue subrogation even in situations where liability is shared or unclear, potentially creating an unfair burden on individuals or small businesses. Why does subrogation lead to frustration? Complexity. Many people don't understand subrogation or its implications. When they find themselves being pursued for payment, they may feel blindsided or treated unfairly. Systemic issues. Critics argue that the system often benefits large corporations and insurers, making it seem like a mechanism for profit rather than fairness. Contributing to distrust. Aggressive subrogation practices can fuel the public's mistrust of insurance companies, reinforcing the perception that insurers care more about profit than customer service. How true is this perception? While the statement highlights real concerns, it is important to acknowledge that subrogation, when conducted ethically, is a legal and necessary part of the insurance system. The dirty tactics and bullying described reflect worst-case scenarios rather than standard practices. However, these practices can and do occur, especially in highly competitive or less regulated environments. If you're concerned about subrogation in a particular case, understanding your legal rights and consulting a lawyer or insurance advocate can help ensure fair treatment.
Chris Dunn 3241 wrote,
I'm at the point of not having much hope when it comes to this issue. We're too far gone and have been ever since any form of government has been established. Greed has taken over completely. I'm willing for anyone to help me feel a bit more optimistic about it, but I really just don't know anymore. These same people running these companies have enough money to have the government and the system in their back pocket. They control absolutely everything and have spent generations on ensuring they stay making money off of people in unfortunate situations. We're too far gone.
At 0v3chkn wrote,
The thing is that in some, if not most, cases, debts for a deceased person don't legally pass to another family member. They just call and threaten to do something if not paid. That should be illegal.
At Anonym 0us328 wrote,
Luigi is innocent, LET-MARBOIGO. But seriously, insurance companies are F-scan horrible. They're monsters that treat you like property or a slave when they want money from you. Time to let big corporations know we are not gonna stand for this abuse anymore. We won't stand for the harassment or awful treatment or denying services that you've paid for due to a technicality. No more.
At Bubblesmelt 7368 wrote,
Puck insurance companies. Car insurance or health insurance. It's a big scam, for sure. Same with doctors. One of the biggest scams ever. They are in the business of harming you, not healing you.
Colin of Arabia wrote,
If there's actually people out there that don't know or don't think insurance companies are screwing them, then clearly the insurance failed them for not paying for the much-needed psych evaluation.
At Louis Gandara wrote,
I was a legal account representative for major brands, for a law firm that just collects. We were encouraged to use the dark web to find any dirt or information on them or spouses if the state is a non-community state. We would hunt people to renew the SOL statute of limitations with a 1DL's payment. Now the law firm then had an extra 4 to 5 years to continue harassing you.
A Streaming with Joe wrote,
If you're smart enough to work in medical billing or for a medical insurance company or for a pharmaceutical company, then you are smart enough to get a different job and improve your karma.
At Needle and Bar wrote,
Wow, this is like some old Vice content. I applaud you all for posting this. Insurance companies are going to be on the hacking block and all being sued within the next 5 to 10 years. Watch, already happening in the US. Now bring back Tattoo Age 2 and highlight Adrian Lee. We will all be fans again at that point.
Truff wrote,
Insurance is a business, not a religious institution. They are not obligated to care about your emotions and feelings or sickness. Health insurance doesn't mean they should care about our health. Just like car insurance don't care about our car needs. It's business, not personal.
At Memlafeeder wrote,
Just insurance companies in US? Yeah, right. Sorry guys, but let me wake you up. There is not one insurance company in the world which is decent or honest. Even most corporates works like that. For example, what do you think about all beverage and junk food companies? Coca-Cola, do you think they really care about customers' health issues or for harmful ingredients? They are using sugar instead of drugs for God's sake. List all goes up with medical court etc., so just know this. If there is a company making margins by selling something, it is impossible that they are innocent or decent whatever in this era. You know Apple, Meta, YouTube and Google Etsy, do you really think they are providing a service or nice products? Yeah, they mostly collect and sell your personal data to advertisers. So they are providing something free, but making billions on what you gave to them. And this is called life, unfortunately. Cause there is no justice in life. And all corporates are exploiting all people with all governments, including their employees.
At Bonnie Fernwood wrote,
I've been being hounded daily by a debt collector over an ambulance ride, or I couldn't afford yet, had no choice but to take. The emergency room I went to sent me to another hospital and didn't give me a choice BC of the state I was in. Yet my insurance company deemed the ambulance ride unnecessary. Insurance companies can eat dirt. Soulless corporate policy should not apply to healthcare.
At the Bmco 99 wrote,
My wife got ovarian cancer right when the pandemic hit. I had to take an early retirement at age 66 to help take care of our animals and her to this day. I'm still paying for insurance on her, but they'll turn around and give illegals insurance left and right, and she could not work. She couldn't even get Social Security or Medicare. Something don't add up here when we worked all of our lives and paid taxes as an American citizen, and illegals can come in here and get everything handed to them. I don't think so. Trump 2024 baby, all in.
At Sean Collins 6319 wrote,
I can already see the future of America as inflation rips this country apart. You're going to have a lot more murdered CEOs of companies who are taking advantage of people. It's really sad that 25% of people actually think that the CEO that was murdered deserved it. And to think those people are on juries in a courtroom while people are sitting in. prison for a crime they didn't commit, and you have these people out there with such radical left opinions making decisions on whether someone is guilty or not. It's crazy they even did that poll. The outcome was even crazier, though. But this is what this country is coming to. I don't even think they have the right guy. This Mario person isn't the same person from the original video they showed. They needed a patsy. They pucked up this Mario kid. Fits the description. I did a bunch of dollar on him that wasn't his own foul. Yeah, he had 8K in American cash and 2 to 3K in Canadian. I personally think the real killer is on the loose and they picked up a patsy. But back to the topic. Don't be so flabbergasted if you don't see more high-profile cases in the future. Because what these CEOs are doing, they know WTF they are doing, and it might cost one of them their lives if they keep up with the BS because the people are sick and tired and resorting to violence. Get THST through your thick skulls, and there isn't no amount of security can keep you safe either. If they want ya, they will get ya. There's a lot more of us than them. People are becoming straight savages. It's only going to get worse.
Polly 1H wrote,
If I didn't have a family, I wouldn't have health insurance. It's a total scam. I'd pay less just going out of pocket. My insurance is $500 every paycheck, so $1,000 a month. If I only paid as I needed, I'd spend way less.
At Lady 8X Still Stands wrote,
Life, health, fire, auto, home, boat, motorcycle, theft. Sports, investments, injury, disease, professional, death, funeral, dismemberment, construction, equipment. Any type, area or reason, there's an insurance for it with greedy, wealthy men backing it. One could spend every paycheck on insurance alone and never have a need to file a single claim.
Esuedo Soma wrote,
I can tell she's one of them. The bare fake sadness and the subtle laughter when talking about suffering people. She came here for clout disguised or not. It's fueling her ego. Deny, defend, depose.
At Orchidnik wrote,
United Healthcare adjusted their denial of claims from 10% in 2020 and then raised it to 29% currently, just to profit. What's to stop them from doubling their denials? Umeriku is in the shitter.
At Badawi 181 wrote,
Humanity did not develop towards civilization, rather toward how showing the inhuman way. More like specks of parasite collided together, making the most awful creature under the label human, but that is the name of the meat bag, more like a brand name, the tag name. So disgusting how a society is the most immoral, abnormal creatures.
At Abalons wrote,
Nothing will ever change for you Americans, as you the sane ones who knows how scared up your country is are in minority. The ignorant, loud ones chanting USA, Trump, Trump, Trump are the ones who will keep your country as a rich third world country.
At Bodycam 97 wrote,
This episode was so good. I ate a whole pizza, so zoomed off dabs. Then I realized the pizza was gone and I was sad. But this was bomb documentary along with the pizza. Good job, Vice.
At Agnes Black 1974 wrote,
This ISBD reporting Vice you might want to take this down. Your expert, ISNOT and expert subrogation is not about standard insurance claims. If someone injures your health insurance pays FOR your medical bills. NDYO, file a civil lawsuit NDWNYO, you have TOPAY back THE Health Insurance Company. THE person that HITYOUIS responsible FOR that bill. NOTTHE Insurance Company. These people, this woman I was talking about GOT money after a lawsuit A&D they are collecting THE bills, these people WE. SHEIS misrepresenting everything SHEWAS working FOR. I work in insurance A&D have dealt with these kinds of OF claims hundreds of times. This IS blatant misrepresentation. OMG. Vice check your sources and represent your info properly. I had a member call in upset that subrogation legal is wanting $12,000 from the settlement. She received over $150,000 for hospital bills. In regular English, I explained that her insurance doesn't cover injury done to the member by someone else when they get reimbursed for their medical expenses. I also told her that her settlement payout is broken down and she was paid the additional $12,000 to cover her medical expenses. That is not money for her. That is money to pay back her insurer who covered those expenses at the time of her injury. She was upset, but understood. We called her attorney's office and they said they instructed her to pay her insurance company for the medical costs out of her payout. After the conversation, she understood, paid the $12,000 because she hadn't spent it yet, and we settled the situation. It is not taking money from poor, innocent people. And if the member didn't get a settlement, I'll go to legal and get the subrogation inquiry dropped immediately. You have to understand the meaning and context of subrogation in order to realize how effed up this witness is. And I am judging her words, not her race, sex, gender, ethnicity, etc. It's just really bad information and she's trying to take advantage of a current trend with lies. Insurance subrogation is a legal process for insurance companies to recover costs from the party responsible for an injury or property damage. The insurance company pays the insured for a covered claim. The insurance company seeks reimbursement from the at-fault party, or their insurance company. Subrogation is also known as subro. It's common in construction contracts, where a waiver of subrogation clause may prevent the owner and general contractor from pursuing legal action against each other. The subrogation process can take several months, depending on the severity of the accident and other factors. For example, if the other driver is at fault, has insurance, and doesn't contest the claim, the process may be relatively quick. However, if the other driver is uninsured or it's unclear who's at fault, the process may take longer.